anthem on the track. Live from the land of snakes, with the same nigga playing your wake, wanna give your hands a shake. Bitch, we got bands to make, rubber bands to break, guns and butter, that land on lake.
Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Radio. This is your host, Brother Rich. I'm back with the living legend, Professor Griff. Welcome back to the program, brother.
It's a pleasure to be back, good brother. And how you feeling this evening?
Oh, I'm feeling good, brother. I'm glad to be on the program with you for another week. I'm glad to talk to the family for another week, get some information out there for them, hear the response about what's going on.
That's right.
There appears a lot of people, Griff, in this country, black people, are shocked by what they are seeing with these rallies, these Donald Trump rallies. And there's a lot of black people that are just sitting back saying, well, I told you so. Well, I mean, I'm surprised you're surprised. So,
right.
so I gotta talk to Griff about what's going on. I want the black family to hear your voice about what's going on. The media seems to be real complacent almost, with what Trump is doing. To start out with, there was a CBS journalist, Indian guy of Indian descent. Mm-hmm. He was arrested at one of the Trump rallies. He tweeted, "I've never seen anything like I'm witnessing in my life." He said a man came up to him and said, "Go back to Iraq." He said another Trump supporter just asked him if he was taking pictures of ISIS. And he said when he looked shocked, he turned around and said, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." There was an incident, Griff, last week or a couple of days ago where Trump is kind of condoning violence at his rally.
Right.
There was a black guy that got sucker punched by a white dude. The black guy was just walking out the rally. Didn't do nothing to the white dude. Got sucker punched by the old white guy. And Trump said that he would pay for the legal fees for this white guy.
Right.
Trump has said things like the protesters should be carried out on a stretcher that interrupt his rallies and ripped out of their seats like the good old days. Late last year, another Trump supporter said, "Set them on fire," referring to a protest at Trump rally. So it's like, there's a lot of young people that what you talk about, Griff, they may say, "Man, Griff is cool. That nigga's outdated, man. I mean, goddamn, it ain't the 80s, 70s no more. It ain't the 60s, man. Griff's still talking that black power shit, man. Things done changed." So they will be a part of this group of people that I told you in the beginning that's kind of shocked and surprised by this blatant, overt form of racism that is being witnessed all over the television. So with that being said, Professor Griff, I guess what is your take on what you're seeing happening with these rallies and with the protesters and with the Trump supporters? And just whatever, I've never seen a politician use this approach before that Trump is using. I mean, he makes references to his penis size. He talks about women. He talks about Mexicans. He said they're sending us their worst. I mean, he talks about protesters. I mean, it appears there's no limit with Donald Trump. The only thing he has not said yet was white power. So with that being said,
right.
Professor Griff, what's your take on everything you see happening at a presidential rally? What's your take on that, Professor Griff?
I think I would have to partly say to the people that I'm like you, brother. I'm shocked that the people are shocked at what's going on, because everything that this man has said and done thus far leads us to this eventual conclusion. It leads us right to where we are right now, right up until a few minutes ago. Did you hear what happened a few minutes ago?
No, I did not. Fill me in.
It says Donald Trump, here's the headline. It says Donald Trump warns of riots. If they pull the plug on the presidential debate. Trump warns that on Wednesday of riots if he is denied the party's presidential nomination. he says there's going to be riots.
Wow.
Now, who is he making a phone call to get that order?
Mm-hmm.
Who is behind the scenes working and making that move happen? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're sandwiched between an imperial oligarchy coming from Hillary Clinton's camp, because now Rubio has dropped out. And I thought Rubio probably would have been the one to give Trump a run for his money, because at least he's top heavy, meaning that at least he knows what he's saying and doing. But, he's part of the Tea Party, so they're making strategic moves to put certain people in place. We're sandwiched between Hillary Clinton, the imperial oligarchy, and this national fascist. And you're right. He's one step away from saying Heil Hitler and white power. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But they have the sheeple to rely on, because the vast majority of the people are still asleep. I was on my show last night, and one sister called in and she says, Griff, you're talking about this the psychotechnology and brainwashing. There was a sister dressed in African garb voting. And she was like, voting for who? She said she wanted to walk up to the sister and ask her, like, what are you doing? You with African garb from head to toe, but you at the voting polls, voting for who and for what?
Right.
So this is where we are. Everything that Donald Trump has said, he's kept his word on. His rallies are getting bigger. He's getting more and more support. He's breathing into the chest a sense of urgency and a sense of white pride and white power into the chest of the average white person now. And they're cocky with it, man. They're just outright punching and elbowing black people in the face, dragging white people and pushing us around at these rallies. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I thought we was way beyond the water hoses and the dogs, man, getting sick on us. I don't know how they do it, bro. Plain and simple. So from what we're hearing tonight about him threatening us, him threatening with riots if he's denied, his followers now punching people in the face and disrupting things. There's a list I pulled up. It says black protester sucker punched at the latest violent incident at Trump's event. It says below is a running list of violent incidents involving Donald Trump supporters, protesters, and members of the media and campaign security staff at Trump's events. So, Brother Rich, we have to widen the lens that we're looking at it through. It's not only black people that's catching hell and getting physically handled by Trump supporters. It's white women. It's women in general. It's other people from other campaigns, whether you're a Democrat or whatever. It's security staff and everyone else. So we need to, white men are doing exactly what Donald Trump is actually propping them up to do. Taking America back and making America great once again. And we know what great, if you look up great in the dictionary, Brother Rich, great don't mean good. Great don't mean good. Are you following me?
Right.
So when they say great, make America great again, what do they mean, Brother Rich? Let's bring America back, right back where we had it before, where we kept the niggas in check. Plain and simple. So I'm going to read that list a little bit later on, Brother Rich, but it's a list of things that happened way before this moment that we seen in Chicago, man. There was some stuff that led up to Chicago. And the mere fact that he didn't come to the venue and announce to the people that we have to cancel it and yada, 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 he told someone, one of his helpers in his campaign, to make the announcement, and he never showed up. Something was supposed to go down that day that didn't go down the way he thought it was going to go down. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at this thing on a broader scale, Brother Rich. It's not some narrow-minded ass, people talking about it's just some skirmishes that's happening. No, it's a little bit more than skirmishes, Brother Rich. These are actually events that's going down. People are ending up in the hospital. And it's growing more and more and more and more and more at each event. Now he's threatening people with riots.
Wow. Could you talk briefly, Professor Griff, about the ability for these politicians, these white politicians, and to use coded language? Black people, when we talk, we're direct with each other. We say things directly some of the people who are not used to this won't catch the coded language that's used. Like, for example, when Hillary said super predators, some people won't know who she's referring to. When Donald Trump says make America great again, some people think he literally means that. But there's like a certain coded language that they use, that they communicate with other white supremacists and other people of their nature, where they just get exactly what they're saying. So talk to the family, what the hell is coded language, and why do they use it so much?
Well, it's not necessarily coded language, so to speak. If you're talking about white people talking to, they talk the way they talk, Brother Rich. And if they started using the King's English and some of the terms that they've been brought up on, Brother Rich. So let's go over some of these terms that may lock out, and it varies. If you talk to someone that does real estate, there's a coded language that they use when they're talking about certain zones and certain regions. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Certain regions are given colors and numbers. For example, I've never considered myself urban or a minority. I don't even know where those terms came from. I've never really considered myself an African American. So when they start using those terms, and if you really listen to the news very carefully, they'll interchange African American with black. But if you look in the dictionary, we already know what black means. So then what does urban mean if we're supposed to be African Americans? When it comes to real estate, when it comes to you filling out a job application, how come sometimes you're other? How come when you're talking about the census report, or when you talk about going into the voting booth and you're signing certain forms to fill out, especially with the census forms, when you go to the doctor's office, all right, when you're having to explain that you could be the darkest Polynesian or Native American or Cambodian or whatever, but when they look at you, for example, the gentleman that got arrested at the Trump rally, he wasn't even from that part of the world. A lot of times they looked at Indians from India that practice Hinduism or other religions, and they would call them Arabs. You understand what I'm saying? So even when it comes to dealing with poor whites, there's a certain segment of white people that have a coded language when they're talking about whites that are less privileged than they are. They're not going to call them trailer trash or trailer park trash. They'll come up with some sophisticated terms simply because they know how to use these sophisticated terms. They're the only ones that give definition to these terms. We don't write the dictionary, Brother Rich. We use these terms to talk outside the sphere of our experience. So then when they want to allocate certain monies in government to certain areas, those terms are the less in it. Or the certain areas and minorities and these kind of terms that they use, because these terms, Brother Rich, if you go back in history, they're not necessarily offensive. Were you about to say something?
No, you was breaking up a little, but you're back now today.
These terms are not necessarily offensive when you're called a minority, because now when you go to vote, you have titles now. You're a Republican, but you're also Christian, right? You also belong to the Jack and Jill Club, or one of these kind of schools, and you've earned these degrees. So you got letters behind your name. You got titles. God forbid if you're a doctor and you've graduated at the top of your class, and you get the respect from your peers. So now you got letters and numbers and doctor and Mr. or Mrs. in front of your name, and then it's followed by a whole slew of accomplishments. So I guess that looks very impressive. So now you rise above the average Negro, in which they still call us in certain circles. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you rise above the average Negro. So now, even though when they do address you as president or Dr. Cosby or Dr. So-and-so, whatever. They still view you as the same nigga. Plain and simple, Brother Rich. There's no other way I can put that. I can't soften that up and make that pliable and possible for people to kind of wrap their brains around. Regardless of what kind of degrees you have, they view us all the same. Brother Rich, when they come to get us, they're not going to stop and ask you to show them ID to see whether or not, and for you to carry your diploma and your accomplishments around with you. When they come to round us up, they're not going to ask you for that. They could care less, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, you're probably one of the first ones they're going to come get. Because you know their system, because you know their system from inside out, because you are a part of their system. Tay, Man, Twan, and Peanut, and Day and them, they're not part of the system. They're victims of the system, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a coded language, but it's a sophisticated coded language. George Bush spent 8 years in the White House using this trick that they call doublespeak. And people that's within the sound of my voice don't know what doublespeak is, go look it up. You might have to look up some of the in one of the occult websites, but go look up what it means. Stephen Jacobson talked about doublespeak. They could be in a room, Brother Rich, and you and I could be in the room, and they'll be talking politics. You and I will get locked right out of the conversation because they're talking in a way and in a language that only they understand, Brother Rich.
Right.
And this is very real.
Yeah.
And let me say this, and let me let people know out there that English is not our language. English has become our first language because our language has been taken from us. It was very interesting. Last night I did the Ashanti brainwashing test. And, I ran down a list of questions that people should know about America, and then I turned around, Brother Rich, and ran down a list of questions of things that people should know about Africa. And I got very little response. Very little response. Mm. So coded language, indeed.
I wasn't surprised that what's the guy's name? Ben Carson. Ben Carson. He recently dropped out of the race, and he endorsed Donald Trump. You hate to see it. A brother. I mean, come on, a brother just endorse him after everything he's doing. But it is what it is. I'm not surprised at that. But on the other hand, a lot of people are a little confused about certain comments the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan made about Trump. He went on the Alex Jones show, and he made several comments about Trump. About one thing he said is, so when Mr. Trump said we can't allow these Muslim refugees into America, a lot of people were upset with him. But I know that hatred for America in the Muslim world is building. He was referring to that. Just a couple of other things he was referring to as far as Farrakhan couldn't get bought out by the politicians. He's not accepting money from them, so he's allowed to be more freer than your average politician. I guess a lot of people try to twist it. Maybe Alex Jones and them try to twist it to say Farrakhan was endorsing Trump. So Farrakhan had to respond and say he never said he was endorsing Trump. But he did make some comments that people were like, why would the minister go out there and even say that about Donald Trump? What's your opinion? Because we're not surprised that Ben Carson saying what he said or endorsing Trump. But what's your take on somebody with a reputation such as the Minister Louis Farrakhan saying what he said about Donald Trump?
Well, I heard the interview. I watched the interview several times. I've never walked away from that interview after listening, thinking that Minister Louis Farrakhan said anything about endorsing Donald Trump. I believe he laid out, let me not say the word belief, because I don't even use that word. I know and understand that he laid out a degree of truth that a lot of people may not be able to handle from a different kind of perspective. It came from a perspective that at that particular point I didn't even understand, Brother Rich. That's why I just mentioned to you, and I admitted to you that I watched it several times because I had to go back. Because sometimes you listen to stuff, it's like, did he say that?
Right.
Then I had to process it. Then I had to go back and listen again. If you and I had a candid conversation, right? And like we had a candid conversation last week, and I made a comment that some people hit me up and text me about and said, why would you say that? Why would you turn around knowing what you know about Nicki Minaj and Rihanna and Beyonce? Why would you say if you were backstage and someone did harm to them, you would do X, Y, and Z? I said, because that's what I would do as a man. Right. So I had to put that in context. You understand what I'm saying? In context, what Donald Trump is saying, that's the majority of white people, including a lot of people in government, would like to say, but they are empowered to do something about it, Brother Rich. And guess what they're doing? They're doing exactly what Donald Trump actually said, but they're too afraid to say it, Brother Rich, because it's too much backlash. So I understand what the minister was saying. Now, Brother Rich, let me clear this up. Donald Trump said it, but you have people in government that are behind the scenes right now doing that exact same thing, setting up laws and certain legislation, all right, to block Muslims and other people from coming into the country, Brother Rich. All right? And for example, they let Europeans in. They let people in from Israel. They let people in from all over the globe. All right? What they put them through, they may not put the Arabs through or someone that's a Muslim. Why would you even have to put your religion on the damn form? You understand what I'm saying? So I understood what Minister Farrakhan was talking about. It's some of the things that go on behind closed doors, Brother Rich, that's not there on the surface, because this is a sick demon and devil that we're dealing with, and we need to keep this in mind, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Most
of the devilishment in what he do, we don't ever see it. We feel the effect of it, but we don't see it. So I think what Minister Farrakhan said is actually 1,000% correct. We just need to do a little bit more research and studying as to how they're blocking these Muslims from coming into the country, and then take that and put that next to what Donald Trump is saying, and it's absolutely correct. Donald Trump is not stupid. He's not stupid by a long shot, Brother Rich. He's actually saying some of the things that he sat in some of them damn private meetings and overheard. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And to be honest with you, Donald Trump better be careful. I'm not one for predictions, all right? But Donald Trump better be careful, man. He better be careful about what he say, because if he keep letting some of these things out of the bag, he's not supposed to be giving up the secrets like that. If you really listen to him and watch his hand gestures and who he really talking to, you know he's sending signals to certain people, man. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's what the vast majority of them white boys up in government really want to do. They really want to carry out what Donald Trump is actually saying, but they can't do it because they'll know they get a backlash. Some of the things that Donald Trump has said, if the average person said that in government, guess what would happen to them, Brother Rich? They would lose their job. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Never be able to work in government again. But why does Donald Trump get away with it? I saw a sign on TV, because you know I told you my technique that I do sometimes. I'm doing it right now, as a matter of fact. I watch TV, but I turn the sound down.
Right.
No, I'm telling you, Brother Rich, if people want to know how to learn how to decode, watch TV but turn the sound down. And then it'll speak to you. The things will jump out at you and it'll speak to you. So I waited for Donald Trump to come on stage. I turned the sound down, and I said, okay, let me see. And I said, okay, I see he's speaking to somebody without saying it. It's called nonverbal communication.
Right, nonverbal, yeah.
And this is very real. And I think the minister has a deeper insight as to what's going on than we do. But it's that transitioning that information into a language that the average person can understand. And I think that's what people are not grasping the totality of what Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying. I'm not Minister Louis Farrakhan's spokesperson. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm no one to say he meant this or he meant that. I'm telling you what I got from it and how I understand it, and what I know go on behind some of them in the smoke-filled back rooms and what they plan against our people. They'll say one thing. Remember, they made us think that they were going after, they was going to bomb Libya But then when the president stepped up to the microphone, he made the announcement that they just killed bin Laden.
Right.
You remember that night?
Yeah.
And then we found out a couple of weeks later that the gentleman that supposedly had killed bin Laden, they died in a plane crash. Like, okay.
Crazy.
You see how these demons work, man? For real, man. I see how they work.
Well, in terms of waking black people up, Griff, do you think this overt form of racism we're witnessing at this Trump rally, these Trump rallies, is what black people need to see instead of the covert racism Hillary Clinton might display? She may say one thing and hold the black baby, but then her and her husband is signing some prison bills for privatized prisons.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Do you think this is what, as crazy as it may sound, black people need to see this right now to know that what's really going on behind closed doors and in front?
I'm going to be very frank and very upfront with this, Brother Rich. That's exactly what black people need. Black people need to be made to feel so uncomfortable with what they're seeing and hearing that it pulls us together so we can sit together in the back room and strategize and come up with a strategy on how we're going to survive this. Because I'm telling you, man, when November passes and January and February roll around, we're going to really see these people's true colors, man. You understand what I'm saying? I think we got a pass for the last 8 years because we've been holding our breath waiting to see what Barack Obama is actually going to do for us. And he came up short. Never did one thing, Brother Rich. Never did one thing. But listen, Brother Rich, I'm not going to fall for Hillary's trick. I'm not falling for Bernie Sanders' trick. Plain and simple. Kasich and Cruz, I don't even listen to them two characters. I can't tell you anything about them two. You understand what I'm saying? But we all know that the president is not elected. The president is selected, and they already know. They're just moving these pieces around the chessboard, Brother Rich. But listen to this. While Trump followers are kicking up dust, which I think it's a distraction, what's going on the Democratic side? Bernie Sanders is gaining momentum now. And you know they don't want Bernie Sanders up in that piece because if anybody is going to speak a degree of truth and exactly what's going on, it probably will be Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders straight up called Donald Trump a pathological liar. Donald Trump said that Bernie Sanders sent some protesters over there to disrupt his rally. And then he threatened Bernie Sanders. He says, be careful, man, because I might just send some of mine over to yours. Woo, that's gangster. You're talking about white on white crimes. That's gangster, man. You understand what I'm saying? So, interestingly enough, Brother Rich, I was at dinner the other night at this restaurant that I normally go to when I want to sit in the corner and nobody really know me. Guess who I ran into?
Who?
Killer Mike.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Man.
He saw me before I saw him. He came up and came to my table, greeted me. Very warm brother, very nice, very respectful. The people he was with was very respectful. Not that I thought it was going to be drama. So I said, let me make sure I have your number, make sure you have mine. I put his number in my phone, and it came up, Killer Mike. I said, I got it already. I got your number. We'll talk. You understand? He says, yes, we need to talk. I said, cool. He said he's going upstate New York to record. I said, cool. I'm on my way out to Austin, Texas, at South by Southwest to perform with Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. He said, cool. I'll run into Shanti from the Face Records, and she works with Universal and a few other people. I think she's doing her own thing now. And she said she's going to interview Killer Mike. What should I ask him? I started laughing. She said, why are you laughing? I said, I just ran into Killer Mike the other night, and me and Killer Mike we see some things different when it comes to politics in reference to Bernie Sanders. She said, oh, wow, I'm going to ask him that. I said, please do. I'm sure he'll have an interesting take on it. But me and him are going to talk further. So we promised to get back together face to face so we can talk further. I said, listen, he says, I'm going to be gone 3 weeks. I said, as soon as you come back, give me a call. I want to talk to you face to face. I don't want nobody whispering in your ear about what they heard Professor Griff say about you. I'm going to tell you to your face. And I want to talk to him man to man, face to face. It ain't no beef. It ain't no drama. It's just that this is how men do it. You understand what I'm saying? And show a level of respect for one another. And it's ironic that I bumped into him. Maybe that's the Creator's will that we bumped into one another. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The brother has a real humble spirit, but you could tell the brother got some power in him. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because even if you listen to his speech that he did at Morehouse that day for Bernie Sanders, you could tell he pretty much got it together. He sounded like his grandfather or his mom and dad was preachers. He got it in him. I just want to talk to him about some of these issues that's been plaguing black people in the past, right on up to today, so we can get the language right when it comes to our precious children. You understand what I'm saying? That's all. That's all. And I think that's where we need to sit down and kind of talk. And even if we still hold on to what we know and understand to be the truth, all right, even if we can't come together on something, we at least got to leave out of their brothers. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We at least have to get up from that table and say, okay, I still love you, bro, and we still cool. And I think that's what would happen with Killer Mike and Professor Griff.
You know, that's going to be dope, man. I definitely am glad you brothers met. You brothers going to sit down and have a talk, man. The world definitely.
Well, like Chuck D said, man, brothers going to work it out, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Did you hear what the other... I'm sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Griff. Did I hear what?
Did you hear what the other candidates had to say about what's going on with Donald Trump? See, a lot of times, if we're quiet and we listen to what other white people have to say about other white people, you see, they're saying it. We just don't quite say it in the way that they're saying it. But what baffles me, Brother Rich, is when you watch the news and you see the black people that are there at the rallies, don't you scratch your head and say, well, what the fuck are you even doing there?
Yeah, that was going to be one of my next questions.
You holding up a placard yelling is not going to stop the momentum of Donald Trump. There's some crazed white people that really don't even understand politics to that degree. But Donald Trump is striking a chord with them. And if you don't understand what that chord is, you better pick up your instrument and leave the room, bro, for real. Because them white folks are not playing. So there was a sign. No, go on.
No, I was just so do you think it's a waste of time for these protesters to be at the rallies? I was just going to ask that.
No, I'm saying the black protesters.
Yeah, the black ones. Yeah, the black protesters. Yeah.
Well, what are the black ones doing there? They're not going to win either way. If Donald Trump becomes president, how black people going to win? If Donald Trump lose, how black people going to win? This brother got punched in the daggone face, right? They said they tracked the man down and arrested him. Someone didn't want to press charges. Go figure, right? Who was he and how did they let him off? And why didn't the brother do what a brother would normally do under those circumstances? Now you know, Brother Rich, if that was you, I'm not going to say no more. But anyway, I look at the faces. I look at the faces of some of the black protesters. As a matter of fact, I got a couple of pictures on my laptop right now, and I'm looking at some of the faces of the black protesters. I'm even reading some of the signs that they're holding up. It's like, bro, are you serious? We got better things to do, man. We have better things to do. It says, Marco Rubio said it's harder every day to justify backing Mr. Trump. Should he win the Republican nomination, and said conservatism is not about how angry you can get or how offensive you can be or how loud you can speak. That's not a Republican who's a conservative. Should go about doing things. Barack Obama, the president, even said, do you realize how other countries and other governments are looking at us? Yeah. This is supposed to be democracy, the same democracy that they're going around the globe trying to establish, killing innocent people. The drone warrior dropping bombs on people to establish democracy. This is the democracy that you are trying to establish? Stop that, President Obama. Ohio Governor John Kasich said, asked his staff to make a list of Mr. Trump's quotes promoting violence at his rallies, and that Mr. Trump's toxic tone makes it even more important for him to win his home state in the primary elections on Tuesday. Wait a minute now. That's all you can say? Excuse me, Governor. That is all you can say? His toxic tone? He's all but calling black people niggas. He's all but calling Mexicans out of their name. He's all but saying he wants this country white again. Senator Ted Cruz said, the culture of violence is Mr. Trump's fault. I'm going to say that again. Ted Cruz, who's still in the race, mind you, said that the culture of violence is Mr. Trump's fault. Shit, we wasn't blaming it on nobody else. He said, telling the reporters that any candidate is responsible for the culture of their campaign. Wait a minute. Let's pump the brakes right there. If Professor Griff gets up at a Public Enemy concert and say, fuck all crackers, fuck all white people, blah, 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 we should do X, Y, and Z, and some shit break out, and a few people lose their life, am I not held responsible for that?
Yeah.
They will come pick me up the next day. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Why isn't Donald Trump being brought up on charges then? Why isn't he held responsible for the violence that go on at his rallies? Somebody behind stage dropped a can of soda and farted. You see how the security was around him?
Yeah. Crazy.
They escorted that dude out of their PDQ. And if you don't know, PDQ means pretty damn quick. You understand what I'm saying? Quick, fast, and in a hurry. President Obama said over the weekend, our leaders, those who aspire to be our leaders, should be trying to bring us together and not turning us against one another, and speak out against violence and reject efforts to spread fear or turn us against one another. And if they refuse to do that, they do not deserve our support. Who are you talking about? You can say it. Did you see when Barack Obama got real comfortable? At the governor's convention?
No, what did he do?
He got real comfortable, took off his tie, opened his shirt, and basically was like, well, this is the same man that said I wasn't a citizen of the United States government. He was going off, man. He was tripping over his words. Prepositional phrases was out of whack. Double negatives are coming out of his mouth. I'm like, damn, he getting real loose. The president, man, takes pride in his speaking and his speeches. You understand what I'm saying? Shit, at the governor's little thing that they had the other day, he got real comfortable because that was his time to fire back at Donald Trump, accusing him of not being a citizen of the United States and giving him all that hell about his birth certificate. Remember, Donald Trump led that. Donald Trump was the one financing that.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Coming at Barack Obama about his birth certificate. Anyway. Oh, one last thing. Paul Ryan said that the violence at Trump's rallies is very concerning. And that candidates must take responsibility for the environment at their events. Wow. I saw Bobby Brown get snatched off the stage and carted off to jail. I saw R. Kelly get snatched off the stage and carted off to jail. I've seen LL catch some hell for lewd and insidious acts on stage. I've seen a few artists bumping and grinding on stage and getting threatened with being arrested. Father MC and a few other people. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very real dynamic when it comes to black people doing our thing on stage. But when Trump does this and he creates a culture of violence at the rallies, he's not going to get taken to task on that and get arrested. Not at all. Not at all, Brother Rich. And this is very real. We've seen one headline: black protester gets sucker punched in the latest violent incident at Trump's event. We never heard about the other incidents, Brother Rich. October 14th, 2015 in Richmond, Virginia. Individuals at Trump rally shoved and took signs from a group of immigration activists. One spit in the protesters' face. Spit in their face. October 23rd, 2015 in Miami, a man at Trump's rally knocked down and kicked a Latino protester, just kicked him in the gut, in the face, and a few people, as they were walking by, kicked them in the ass. Trump later defended the crowd's treatment of the protesters, saying that maybe should have been roughed up just a little.
Wow.
Because he was absolutely disgusting, Trump said. November 21st in Birmingham, Alabama, a black protester at a Trump rally was punched, kicked, and according to the Washington Post, briefly choked on some Eric Garner shit. But we didn't read about this stuff now, did we?
No, we didn't, no.
December 3rd, 2015, in New York City, a security guard took a sign and struck an immigration activist during a protest after the Trump event. Because you holding up a sign, they snatch it from you and slap you in the mouth? December 11th, 2015, New York City, protesters affiliated with various Arab American and Muslim American groups, per the Associated Press, were forcibly ejected from a fundraiser at which Trump was speaking. Just a fundraiser. Just being there. Not holding up signs, not doing anything. Just because you have your job on, you have your Muslim garb on, a kufi, or whatever, they get ejected just from being there. December last one, there's about 9 more I have, but the last one, December 14th, 2015 in Las Vegas, individuals at a Trump rally yelled, "Slag hell," whatever that means, and light the MF on fire towards a black protester who was being physically removed by security staffers. We need to look this term up. Seg hell. S-I-E-G, capital H-E-I-L. It sounds German.
Yeah,
a Friday nigga, I guess. We'll figure that out in a minute. But anyway. And that led up to what we witnessed, that the world witnessed. The brother walking out of the event and getting sucker punched by a white bystander. That's indicative of the behavior of the average Trump supporter. They feel they can get violent because they're taking America back.
Right. They're being patriotic or whatever that is.
Right. And as soon as you show anti-patriotism towards anything that these white people have to say, you're not a real American. Go back to your own country. You understand what I'm saying? Wow. Right. Okay. Go back to your own country, all right? What if we told white people to go back where they're from? Where would they end up?
In the caves.
In the caves. Thank you.
Well, Griff, and I guess this is the last question. A lot of the what you would call the conspiracy theorists, white and black, not just the white ones, feel as though what we're witnessing with Trump and the rallies and the Black Lives Matter, this is all a plot by the Jewish Zionists who is trying to divide the country. What's your take on that? If you go to any web page, a YouTube page, Alex Jones page, or any of the white conspiracies, they all say, all the Zionists are tricking all of us. What do you think about these conspiracy theorists that continue to say this is a plot by the Jewish Zionists to divide the country?
As you know, I frequent those particular sites. I have a list of them that I kind of check out every week. And it's the same rhetoric over and over and over and over again. But they fail to mention that Bernie Sanders is Jewish. So is the plot to make sure Bernie Sanders get to the White House so that they can control the White House? Guess what, Brother Rich? They already control the White House. Israel gets billions of dollars from American taxpayers every single year. Why would it interrupt that? It's a good payday for them, right or wrong, regardless of who's president, right? So we need to understand and put those proper things in context when we talk about conspiratorial view of what's going on. I did see a sign that says, let me see if I can remember it because I didn't write it down. It said that Donald Trump is a false flag for Hillary Clinton to get into the White House. So Donald Trump is kicking up dust to set a pick because they know if the race was between Hillary Clinton, Cruz, or Rubio at the time, or even Kasich, they know that Hillary Clinton would win because the vast majority of black people, even after Minister Farrakhan's condemnation of Hillary Clinton, even after the stuff we've done and other people have done, they still would vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm looking at the news right now. It says Hillary Clinton is over Bernie Sanders 1,588, and Bernie Sanders has 817. So if the race was to happen today for that party's nomination, as far as the delegates are concerned, Hillary is winning on the Democratic side, and I believe Trump is winning on the Republican side. So the race would be left up to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton if it was to go down today, Brother Rich. Right?
Right.
With what Donald Trump is doing at the rallies, the vast majority of people in an open general election, right, Donald Trump would never win. He would never win. Mm-hmm. Then guess what? Hillary Clinton would be the president of the United States. And you know what's going to happen if that go down. Right or wrong? You know what's going to happen if that go down, Brother Rich. Mm. You and I, all of the things we've talked about over the last 3 years, Brother Rich, will reach a feverish pitch. And people will have to go back and listen to these shows and say, you know something? They said it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They said we should get the black pack. They said we better start stocking food. They said they're going to do X, Y, and Z. You understand what I'm saying? They said we need to lock up in groups and create survival units because that's what's going to go down. Democrats and Republicans and the black families are at odds with one another. But if Hillary Clinton get in, it's going to be an issue, man. And I'm telling you, it's on the news right now, and I don't even have the sound turned up. It says Trump versus Clinton. Mm-hmm. That's on CNN right now. Trump versus Clinton. That's how it's going to go down, and Trump is going to say something stupid. The general election is going to go down, and the vast majority of people, and black people, are not going to vote for Trump, and they're going to put their energy to make sure Donald Trump don't get in. They're going to put their energy behind Hillary Clinton. And guess what? Hillary Clinton's going to get in. Mm-hmm. And we are doomed. Not to say that we're not if anybody else get in, but you know what that heifer going to bring. She ain't even masking it. Yeah. That heifer going to go behind the goddamn curtain and pull off that mask, and she going to reveal herself, man. And you really going to see what she's about. You thought her husband gave us 8 years of some mess. Man, bruh. Woo! You know the things that she's about to sign into law, man? Mm-hmm. Can I mention one of them, Brother Rich, for a few minutes we have left?
Yeah.
Did you read about the IRS restricting people's travel if you owe the IRS so much as a quarter?
I heard about that, yeah. That's her.
That's her.
Okay.
She's about to sign it into law. Now, for those of us that are conscious, we know and understand that the IRS is not part of the government, right or wrong?
It's a private entity.
So who is she in bed with, man, that she's gonna make that happen in the United States? And then why is the airlines going for that mess? You mean to tell me? See all of them in bed with one another, Brother Rich? You mean to tell me they're gonna restrict your travel on the airlines if you owe the IRS? Let me ask you something, brother. Who the hell don't owe the IRS?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And this is a very, very real dynamic. That's only one of the things I could mention, man.
Yeah, if you got any more, yeah, go ahead and mention it, Griff.
Bro, let me tell you something, Brother Rich. That's another show. We're gonna need an hour, man. Hit me up next Wednesday night. I'll tell you. I'll tell you the rest of it. I'll tell you the rest of the list that I have of the things that they're gonna put in place in 2017. I'm telling you, Brother Rich, King Simon was right. This is the year of showing and proving, man. This is the year of completion. If we don't get our shit together this year, we're not going to have time next year, man, because we're already going to be on the battlefield, Brother Rich. And they're giving us a small example of what we're going to have to deal with in 2017, man. I'm telling you, they're giving us a small sample of what we got to deal with.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you something, Brother Rich. We better close ranks, man. RBGs better get with the Hebrew Israelites. They better get with the Nation of Islam, the Muslims. They better get with them other folks. The underground brothers better get with some other people. And we better close the ranks, man. Because I'm telling you, man, in 2017, we're going to catch it, man. We ain't got it together in 2016, for real. This is the year of completion, man. This is the year everything's going to be manifested. Everything hidden in the dark is going to be brought to light, man. I'm telling you, in all of us, Brother Rich. The scripture says, if it be the weight of an atom, and the atom is hidden in the rock, and the rock is hidden in the earth, yet Allah will bring it forth. I believe the Bible says, in the last days, every tongue shall confess and every knee shall bow. We going to come willingly or unwillingly, but guess what, Brother Rich? You got to come, man. All of us got to come and show and prove exactly who we are. Show and prove.
Man, that was an excellent way to end it. Them quotes from the scriptures right there. Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on the show once again, Professor Griff. Another powerful, dynamic show. As always, leave the people your contact info. Let them know what you got coming up, so they can reach out to you, brother.
Oh, give thanks. As always, they can reach me directly on my cell phone. That is 678-557-2919. It's 678-557-2919. Of course, you can get me on Facebook at Serious Minds, and on Instagram and Twitter, Serious Minds, or just Google Professor Griff. If you'd like to email me, you can email me at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. And Brother Rich, I will be in the Shy on April 3rd, and then April 23rd, I will be at Sankofa Talks. That's Saturday, April 23rd, 2016 at 3 p.m. And I had the pleasure, man, of being on stage with some of the elders and a brother that's coming up not under me, but in that next generation under me. I'll be on stage with my man David Banner, along with Professor Smalls and Imalamu K. Bomani Baruti. And I'm honored to be on the stage. And I'm honored to be on the stage with a dynamic comedian, man, Cecil Armstrong. You know the brother Shucky Ducky? Yeah. that comedian, yeah. This is going to be at the Frederick Douglass Center, 616 West Tice Boulevard, Dallas, Texas, man. And the phone number to call is 469-297-6404. That's 469-297-6404. Or go to SankofaGlobal.com, www.SankofaGlobal.com. Professor Griff, Imalamu K. Bomani Baruti, James Smalls, and David Banner, Saturday, April 23rd in Dallas, Texas, man. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be powerful, man. That is going to be
making it happen. And guess what, Brother Rich? I'm telling you, man, we're working on this film, bro, so I'm not going to disappoint you.
Yeah, you mentioned it last week.
Man.
Yeah, you mentioned it last week. So, yeah, any update, definitely let us know.
I'll definitely let you know. Artifactual is we're premiering it, man, in 2017, man, so look forward to Artifactual, man. All right?
No doubt. And on that note, y'all, this is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Radio with Professor Griff, Serious Minds Radio. And we sign out, family. We're going to see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace, family. This is Brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figure since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I can ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.
Brooklyn way, when Tony killed Manolo, had to look away. It's a war going on, starting to look like yay. Apparel worn is battle torn, thou shalt not kill when diamonds is dancing.